The sun was just rising over the busy city streets, and the day was starting with its usual rush. People were walking quickly in every direction, carrying bags and talking loudly on their phones. The smell of fresh bread and coffee mixed with the exhaust of cars as the city came alive in its usual chaotic rhythm. In the middle of all this, a boy stood near a small street corner. His clothes were simple and his shoes worn out. He held a few items in his hands that he hoped to sell to anyone. Passing by, the boy watched the crowd with careful eyes. He noticed how people hurried by without looking at him or the world around them. A man in a sharp suit walked by. He seemed to belong to another world. Everything about him spoke of wealth, from the polished shoes to the clean-cut hair and the confident way he walked. His eyes scanned the street quickly, as if he was searching for something or someone. The boy took a deep breath and stepped forward. He held one of his small items in his hand and spoke in a polite voice. "Excuse me, sir, could you spare $1 to help me with my family?" The words were simple, but the courage behind them was strong. The man paused. He had been walking quickly, and rarely did anyone stop him on the streets. He looked at the boy with surprise. There was something in the boy's eyes that made him stop and pay attention. It was not just the request, it was the way he asked it, with respect and without any sense of demand or complaint. The man hesitated for a moment, and then handed over a single dollar. The boy smiled softly and thanked him. He did not bow or rush away. He stood there for a moment looking at the dollar in his hand, then looked up at the man once again and nodded quietly. The man walked on but could not shake the image of the boy from his mind. He continued his day, but every now and then he thought of the boy standing there, so small yet so composed in the middle of the busy street. The city seemed louder than before, as if the hum of life was reminding him of something he had forgotten about. The boy returned to his small corner after selling a few items. He arranged them neatly and waited for the next person to pass. Did not know that he had left a mark on someone who usually did not notice anything outside his own world. The next few days, the boy continued his work on the streets. His family depended on the little money he could earn. He learned to observe people quietly and to speak only when necessary. One morning, the same man appeared again, walking briskly through the streets. He stopped when he saw the boy and gave him a small smile. The boy recognized him immediately. He waved his hand slightly but did not speak first. The man approached and said, "Hello," in a voice that was calm but carried interest. The boy nodded politely and replied in the same manner. They stood there quietly for a moment, watching the city move around them. It was as if the world had slowed down just for the two of them. The boy continued to work while the man watched. He did not interfere or give more money, yet he stayed long enough to notice how careful and honest the boy was with everything he did. Though the next week the man found himself returning to the same street corner again and again. He did not know why at first. It was not a business visit or an appointment, but it was a personal choice that he could not explain. He watched the boy interact with people, sometimes receiving small donations, sometimes selling items quietly. He saw how the boy treated everyone with respect, even those who ignored him or walked past without a glance. The boy's patience and gentle demeanor left a lasting impression on the man. One day a small crowd had gathered around the boy. He had helped a younger child who had fallen while carrying a small bundle of goods. The man saw this and felt a strong sense of admiration. The boy did not ask for recognition or thanks. He simply helped and continued with his own work. This simple act of kindness spoke more than words ever could. It revealed a character that was rare and genuine in the busy world of the city. Man started to ask questions about the boy discreetly. He spoke with shopkeepers and passers-by, trying to learn more. He wanted to understand where the boy came from and why he was there. Each answer he received only increased his curiosity. The boy was known as someone honest and hard-working, someone who would give what little he had to help others. This reputation made the man even more intrigued. He felt a connection to the boy even though they had just met. The boy continued to go about his days, quietly observing the world. He noticed the man watching him, and although he did not speak much to him directly, he felt a strange sense of comfort in his presence. The man never tried to buy more from him or take him away. He simply observed and occasionally smiled. This silent understanding between them grew with each passing day. The city moved faster than either of them could imagine, yet the boy remained grounded in his small world. He had dreams that went beyond selling items on the street. He wanted to help his family in ways he did not yet understand, and he wanted to learn more. About the world beyond his street corner, the man realized this as he watched the boy handle challenges with grace and determination. It was clear that this child had a strength that could not be measured by money or status. One afternoon, the man approached the boy with a question he asked about the boy's family and how he managed. Each day, the boy answered simply and honestly. He spoke of his parents who worked hard but could not earn enough, and his siblings who depended on him in small ways. The man listened carefully without interrupting. He felt a growing desire to help, yet he was careful not to overwhelm or embarrass the boy. Days passed, and the man continued to visit the street corner. He sometimes brought small items for the boy to sell or offered advice quietly without making it a lesson. The boy accepted everything with gratitude and continued his work with the same dedication. Never assumed he had more than anyone else, and he never complained about what he is. Did not have the simplicity of his approach left the man thinking about his own life and the many ways he had taken things for granted. One morning, a sudden rain began to fall, the streets became slippery, and people hurried to find shelter. The boy remained under a small awning, protecting his items from the water. The man appeared holding an umbrella. He offered it to the boy, who politely declined, saying he would manage. It was not pride or stubbornness, but a determination to face his challenges. Directly, the man could not help but admire this courage. He stayed nearby until the rain stopped, making sure the boy was safe and dry. The sun came out again. The city returned to its usual rhythm. The boy continued to sell his items while the man walked away slowly, with thoughts swirling in his mind. He had met many people in his life, yet none had left such an impression as this small boy with simple dreams and a kind heart. The encounter had changed something in him. He realized that wealth and power were not always the most important things, and that courage and honesty could leave a deeper mark on the world. Boy did not know the man's thoughts or the impact he had made, yet he continued his days with the same focus and humility. He sold his items patiently, helped others quietly, and dreamed of a better future for his family. He had no idea that his small act of asking for just $1 had started a journey that would change both of their lives in ways they could not yet imagine. The city continued to wake with its usual noise and hurry. People moved quickly, carrying their bags and talking to one another as the sun climbed higher in the sky. The boy stood at his small corner again, arranging the few items he had to sell. He watched carefully as people passed by. Some looked at him for a moment and moved on. Others pretended he was not there. The boy did not let it bother him. He had learned to stay calm and focused on what he could do rather than what he could not change. The man in the sharp suit appeared again. He walked slowly, this time his eyes scanning the boy as he approached. The boy noticed him immediately and smiled faintly. He had come to recognize the man not just as a stranger, but as someone who had shown interest in him without interfering. The man nodded and greeted him softly. The boy returned the greeting politely and continued with his work. The man stood quietly nearby, watching the boy interact with the people who came close to buy items or give small donations. He noticed the boy's patience and careful attention to detail. The way he handled each transaction showed honesty and responsibility. The man had met many people who spoke well and acted differently, but this boy's character was clear in the simplest actions. Over the next few days, the man tried to learn more about the boy discreetly. He asked shopkeepers and passersby, but no one seemed to know much about him. They described the boy as quiet, hardworking, and kind. He helped younger children sometimes and was careful with every small thing he did. The man felt a growing admiration for the boy. He began to realize that there was something special in the way he faced the world without complaint or fear. The boy continued his life as usual. He woke early each morning to help his family before going to the street corner to sell his items. He had learned to notice the smallest details, like which customers were kind and which were hurried or impatient. He treated everyone the same, even if they ignored him or walked past. He had a gentle strength that the man could not ignore. One afternoon, the man saw the boy helping a young girl who had dropped a basket of fruits. The boy quickly gathered the fruits and handed them back carefully. He smiled softly to the girl and helped her fix the basket. The man watched from a distance, feeling something he had not felt in years. It was a mix of admiration and surprise at how simple acts of kindness could carry so much meaning in a world that often overlooked them, the man began visiting the street corner more regularly. He did not bring gifts or try to change the boy's life, yet he found himself staying longer each time. He observed how the boy interacted with people and how he managed challenges quietly. He noticed the boy's determination and patience in every small act, from arranging items to helping others. The man was learning more from the boy than he had expected. The boy had begun to notice the man watching him carefully. He did not feel threatened or uncomfortable. Instead, he felt a strange sense of understanding. He continued his work as usual, but he looked for the man occasionally to see if he was nearby. The silent presence of the man became a comforting part of his day, as if he was witnessing something important without needing words to explain it. One morning, a sudden gust of wind blew the boy's items across the street. He rushed to gather them as people walked past without noticing. He worked quickly and calmly, picking up each item and arranging them neatly again. The man ran over to help, and together they managed to secure everything safely. The boy thanked him quietly and smiled faintly. It was a small moment, but it carried a sense of trust and shared effort that neither of them had expected. Over the next week, the man tried to speak with the boy more. He asked questions about his daily routine and how he managed his small tasks. The boy answered honestly in simple words. He spoke of his family and the little responsibilities he carried. He never complained about his situation or asked for more than he needed. The man's admiration grew as he realized that courage and honesty could exist even in the smallest and hardest parts of life. One afternoon, the boy saw a small kitten trapped under a crate. He carefully lifted the crate and freed the animal. The man watched quietly and noticed the gentle care in the boy's hands. The boy cleaned the kitten and gave it some water. He smiled softly as the kitten ran away. The man could not help but feel a deep sense of respect. He had met many people who spoke of kindness, but rarely saw it carried out, so naturally the man began thinking about ways to help the boy without disrupting his life. He considered small gestures like bringing extra items to sell or quietly giving advice. He wanted to offer guidance, but he did not want to embarrass the boy or make him feel like charity was required. The more he observed the boy, the more he felt a responsibility to act thoughtfully. The boy continued his days on the street corner. He learned to notice patterns in the people who passed by and to recognize those who might need help. He gave small smiles to children and offered assistance without expecting anything in return. His actions were natural and sincere. He did not realize the impact he had on the man who watched from nearby each day. One day, a small accident happened near the boy's corner. A man dropped a large basket of fruits and the items scattered everywhere. The boy ran to help, picking up the fruits and returning them to the man carefully. The man looked at the boy with surprise and gratitude. The boy smiled faintly and continued arranging his own items. It was a small moment, yet it showed the consistency of his character and the kindness that guided his actions. The man realized that he had become a part of the boy's daily life in an unseen way. He returned day after day, watching the boy navigate challenges calmly and helping others quietly. He understood that this child had strength beyond his years and wisdom, beyond his small size. The boy's presence taught the man something important about humility and the value of simple courage. As days passed, the boy faced new challenges. He encountered rough weather and busy crowds, yet he remained steady and focused on his small responsibilities. He noticed how people ignored problems around them, while he chose to act where he could. The man saw these moments and felt inspired to consider his own life choices and the way he approached his wealth and influence. One evening, the sun began to set and the streets grew quieter. The boy finished arranging his items and began walking home. Carefully carrying the day's earnings, he felt proud of the little he had achieved and satisfied with the effort he had put in. Each step was slow and deliberate as he thought of his family and the responsibilities that awaited him. The man watched from a distance, feeling a quiet admiration that had grown stronger over time. The man began to realize that the boy's courage and honesty had affected him in ways that money and power never could. He felt a growing desire to help the boy in a meaningful way, yet he was cautious not to impose or force anything. He understood that the boy's dignity and independence were as important as any assistance he could offer. The boy returned home that evening and shared his small earnings with his family. He spoke of his day with simple words and gentle smiles. he did not speak of the man watching him or the quiet admiration that had grown between them, yet the presence of someone noticing his efforts without judgment gave him a quiet sense of confidence and reassurance. The man walked away slowly that evening, reflecting on the lessons he had learned by observing the boy. He realized that wealth and status could not teach him the patience and honesty that he had witnessed in such a simple life. He thought about the courage it took for a child to face the world daily and the humility to help others without expecting recognition. He knew that he had found someone extraordinary in the most unexpected place. Boy continued his routine in the city. The streets moved around him quickly, yet he remained steady and careful. He helped where he could and focused on what mattered most to his small world. The man continued his visits, quietly observing and learning from the boy's resilience and gentle wisdom. Their silent connection grew stronger day by day as each learned from the other without needing to speak to much one. Morning, the man approached the boy again, spoke softly, asking about his small routines and the challenges he faced. The boy answered simply with honesty and clarity. His words reflected patience. Encouraged, the man nodded quietly, appreciating the boy's sincerity and strength. He felt a deep respect and a desire to ensure that the boy's efforts were not in vain. The simple act of asking for $1 had begun a journey that neither of them fully understood yet. Both felt the quiet importance of the morning came with soft sunlight and a quiet breeze moving through the city streets. People were already on their way to work, and children walked to school. The boy stood at his usual corner arranging the few items he had to sell. He noticed the familiar figure of the man approaching from a distance. The boy greeted him quietly with a small nod. The man smiled and walked closer. They had grown used to seeing each other over the past days, though neither spoke too much. The presence of the other felt natural and comforting. Man observed the boy carefully, noticing how he handled every small challenge with patience and care. He saw the boy helping a small child who had dropped a bag of fruits. The boy quickly gathered them and returned them safely. He smiled gently to the child and went back to arranging his own items. The man realized that he had been learning from these quiet actions more than he had ever expected. Each day he saw the boy facing the world with honesty and courage. The boy noticed that more people were paying attention to him now. Some stopped to ask questions or buy his items. Others simply nodded in recognition. He handled everyone with the same calm and polite manner. He never raised his voice and never acted impatient, even when the streets were crowded or when someone accidentally knocked over his small display. He had learned to remain steady and focused no matter what came his way. The man continued to visit the corner regularly. He wanted to understand more about the boy's life and the challenges he faced. He asked questions quietly to shopkeepers nearby, but most people only knew small things about the boy. They spoke of his honesty and his willingness to help others. He had a reputation for kindness, even though he was just a child trying to survive and help his family. The man felt a deep respect for the boy and began thinking about how he could make a meaningful difference in his life. One day, the boy noticed a small group of younger children struggling to carry heavy bundles. They were frightened of dropping them and getting scolded by their parents. He stepped forward and offered to help without waiting for thanks. He carefully lifted the bundles and guided the children safely to where they needed to go. The man watched quietly from a distance, feeling admiration for the boy's natural sense of responsibility and kindness. He realized that the boy carried a wisdom beyond his years and a gentle strength that most adults lacked. Days passed. The man thought more about the boy and the quiet influence he had on those around him. He wanted to find a way to help without taking away the boy's independence or pride. He considered small gestures like bringing extra items to sell or quietly offering advice. He knew that the boy's dignity was as important as any help he could provide. The man realized that the boy's honesty and courage had left a mark on him that he could not ignore. The boy continued his routine on the street corner. He arranged his items neatly, helped others quietly, and treated everyone with respect. His patience and dedication did not go unnoticed. The man observed him handling each situation calmly, whether it was a customer who tried to cheat him or someone who accidentally stepped on his goods. The boy did not react with anger or frustration. He remained steady and focused on what he could control. One afternoon, a sudden gust of wind blew some of the boy's items across the street. He quickly ran to gather them while people walked past without noticing. The man ran over to assist, and together they managed to secure everything safely. The boy thanked him quietly and went back to arranging his items. The man felt a growing sense of connection with the boy and a desire to support him in a meaningful way. Boy noticed that the man often carried small packages of food or drinks and would quietly leave them near his corner. The boy accepted them with gratitude, but never assumed he was owed anything. He continued to work hard and focus on helping his family and those around him. The man saw the boy's humility and patience as a rare gift in a world that often demanded attention. In recognition, as the week progressed, the man observed the boy facing new challenges. The streets became busier and more crowded. Yet the boy remained calm and focused. He helped a small girl untangle her basket and guided a lost child back to his parents without expecting anything in return. Each act of kindness revealed a strength of character that the man could not help but admire. He began to see that this boy had the potential to achieve much more if given the right opportunities and guidance. The boy noticed that his small actions were being watched carefully by the man. He felt a quiet sense of reassurance knowing that someone recognized his efforts. Without judgment, he continued his work with the same dedication and focus, never asking for more than he needed and always offering help where he could. The silent connection between them grew stronger with each passing day. One morning, the boy saw a small dog trapped near a busy street. He carefully rescued the animal and guided it to a safer place. The man watched quietly from a distance. Feeling a deep respect for the boy's empathy and courage, he realized that true strength was not in wealth or power but in the way someone treated others and faced challenges with honesty and care. The boy's actions were teaching him lessons that no money or status could provide. Man began to consider ways to support the boy without taking away his independence. He thought about introducing small projects or opportunities that could allow the boy to grow while maintaining his dignity. The more he observed the boy, the more he felt a responsibility to act thoughtfully and with care. He understood that helping this child required patience and respect, not just money or gifts. The boy continued his daily routine on the streets. He helped those in need, managed his small items carefully, and treated everyone with respect. His actions were consistent and genuine. The man saw the boy's courage and wisdom in every small decision he made, whether it was helping a younger child or standing up for himself calmly when challenged. The boy's quiet strength inspired him to reconsider his own priorities and values. One afternoon, the boy faced a challenge when a sudden crowd pushed near his corner, causing some of his items to fall. He quickly gathered everything and arranged them neatly again. The man came over to offer help, but the boy smiled and said he could manage. He appreciated the support but wanted to face his challenges directly. The man felt admiration for the boy's courage and independence. He realized that patience and honesty could be more powerful than any wealth or influences. Days turned into weeks. The man observed the boy becoming more confident. In his small world, he saw him helping others without expecting anything in return and handling challenges with calm determination. The boy's quiet strength and honesty left a lasting impression on the man. He began to understand that this child had the potential to change his own life and the lives of those around him if given the right guidance and support. The boy continued to face each day with determination. He helped those in need and focused on his responsibilities without complaining or asking for more than he had earned. His humility and patience were remarkable. The man realized that he had been watching someone extraordinary, and that the boy's actions were teaching him lessons about courage, kindness, and the value of simple honesty. The man decided that he needed to take the next step. He wanted to help the boy in a meaningful way without overwhelming him or making him feel indebted. He thought carefully about how to approach this and what opportunities could allow the boy to grow while maintaining his dignity. The boy had shown strength, courage, and wisdom that could not be measured by money alone. He deserved a chance to thrive, and the man was determined to provide it in a thoughtful way. The city streets moved with their usual rhythm. People rushed past carrying bags and speaking quickly. The boy stood at his usual corner, arranging his small items for sale. He noticed the familiar figure of the man approaching and smiled faintly. He greeted him quietly. With a small nod, the man returned the gesture and watched the boy carefully. They had grown used to the presence of each other, though words were few. Each meeting carried a silent understanding and quiet respect. The man had thought a lot about the boy. He realized that this child had courage and wisdom beyond his years. He wanted to help, but in a way that would not harm the boy's pride or independence. He began to plan carefully. He considered offering small opportunities that could allow the boy to learn and grow without taking away his dignity each day. He observed the boy handling challenges calmly and helping others quietly. The man felt inspired to act. One morning, the man approached the boy with a gentle question. He asked if the boy would like to try a small project that could help him earn a little more money and learn new skills. The boy looked at him curiously and nodded politely. He did not demand or expect anything, simply listened and considered the opportunity. The man explained the project in simple words and assured the boy that he could refuse if he felt uncomfortable. The boy accepted the project with a quiet determination. He wanted to help his family and learn more about the world around him. He began working on the small tasks given to him, carefully following instructions and showing creativity in solving problems. The man watched closely and was impressed by the boy's dedication and intelligence. He realized that giving someone an opportunity could reveal hidden talents and courage that were not visible before. As days passed, the boy continued to handle the new project. While still managing his small corner on the streets, he balanced the tasks with patience and focus. Each day he learned something new and applied it with care. He did not rush or complain and treated every person he met with kindness and respect. The man noticed the boy's ability to stay humble even as he learned new skills and gained more confidence. The project began to show small successes. The boy handled challenges calmly and found solutions on his own. He guided younger children who were learning from him and helped them when they struggled. The man watched quietly, feeling admiration and pride. He realized that the boy had a rare combination of intelligence, humility, and courage that made him special. He began to consider larger ways to support the boy in the future. On a small accident occurred near the project site. The boy noticed a bundle of supplies about to fall. He quickly ran to secure it and prevent damage. He handled the situation calmly, without panic or anger. He smiled at the people nearby, reassuring them that everything was fine. The man observed and felt a deep sense of respect for the boy's ability to manage difficulties with grace and responsibility. The boy's success in the small project began to draw attention from people in the community. They noticed his honesty and patience and began offering help and encouragement. The boy accepted each gesture with gratitude, yet remained focused on his responsibilities and helping his family. He did not let attention distract him from his work or change his humble attitude. The man saw how naturally the boy balanced recognition and responsibility and felt inspired by his character. As the week progressed, the man decided to reveal a bigger opportunity to the boy. He approached him carefully, explaining a chance that could change his life in a meaningful way. He emphasized that the boy could refuse or take his time to think. He wanted the boy to feel comfortable and in control of his own choices. The boy listened attentively, absorbing each word and considering the offer seriously. The boy accepted the opportunity with quiet determination. He understood that this was a chance to help his family and learn new skills. He promised to work hard and remain honest in everything he did. The man felt a sense of relief and satisfaction knowing that he had made the offer in a way that respected the boy's dignity. He watched as the boy began preparing for the new challenge. With focus and care, the new opportunity involved learning more about business and management in a safe and guided way. The boy showed curiosity and intelligence as he listened and asked questions. He applied the lessons to his project and gradually saw improvements in efficiency and results. The man observed these changes with admiration, realizing that the boy's character and determination were stronger than he had imagined. As the days turned into weeks, the boy adapted to the new tasks with remarkable skill. He handled difficulties calmly and guided others who needed help. He remained humble and patient even as he learned more and gained recognition for his abilities. The man felt proud and inspired by the boy's growth and the way he stayed true to his values despite new challenges and opportunities. The boy faced each challenge with courage and honesty. He helped younger children who were learning new skills and guided them with patience. He remained focused on his responsibilities and his family's needs. His actions reflected a strength of character that the man had rarely seen. He realized that true potential often remained hidden until someone offered the right chance and guidance. One afternoon, the man decided it was time to reveal something important to the boy. He explained the significance of the opportunity and the trust he had in him. The boy listened quietly and nodded with understanding. He felt honored by the man's confidence and promised to continue working with integrity and care. The man felt a deep sense of satisfaction knowing that he had found someone who valued honesty, courage, and humility as much as he did the boy's life. Began to change gradually, he continued his work on the streets while taking on new responsibilities with confidence and skill. He managed both worlds with patience and care. He remained humble and focused on helping his family while learning new skills and building trust with the man and the community. The man watched these changes with admiration, realizing that small acts of courage and honesty could lead to profound transformation. The boy encountered new challenges as he adapted to the larger opportunity. He remained patient and focused even when tasks were difficult or required long hours. He helped others who struggled and maintained his humility and honesty throughout. Each success reinforced his confidence and deepened the trust between him and the man. The city continued to move quickly around them, but the boy remained steady in his journey. The man reflected on the lessons he had learned from the boy's courage and patience. He understood that true character was revealed, not in words but in actions, and that helping someone grow required respect and careful guidance. He felt inspired to continue supporting the boy and providing opportunities that would allow him to thrive while staying true to his values. The boy continued to face each day with determination and grace. He balanced his responsibilities on the streets with the new challenges of the tiny opportunity. He helped others quietly and treated everyone with respect. His growth was noticeable, not just in skills, but in confidence and wisdom. He remained humble and kind, even as recognition and praise reached him. The man felt proud and inspired by the boy's journey and the lessons he had learned through watching him. The morning was calm in the city. Streets were slowly coming alive. People walked quickly, carrying their daily tasks. While children laughed and ran to school, the boy stood at his small corner arranging the few items he had to sell. He noticed the familiar figure of the man approaching and gave a small nod. The man smiled and watched the boy quietly. They had grown used to each other's presence and the silent understanding that had developed between them over time. The boy had been working hard on the new opportunity given to him. By the man, he managed his tasks with care and patience. He helped others quietly and always stayed humble and kind. His small acts of honesty and courage had begun to make a difference not only in his own life, but also in the lives of those around him. The man observed these changes with admiration, realizing that the boy had grown stronger and wiser through patience and dedication. One afternoon, the man decided it was time to provide the boy with an even bigger chance. He spoke to him gently, explaining a new responsibility that could allow him to help his family in more meaningful ways. The boy listened attentively and nodded quietly. He understood the importance of the opportunity and promised to handle it with care and honesty. The man felt a deep sense of pride and hope, knowing that he was guiding someone with such strong values. The boy began taking on the new responsibility with determination and focus. He continued to manage his small corner on the streets while learning new skills and applying them to the larger task. He faced challenges calmly and found solutions patiently, without rushing or complaining. He helped those around him and guided younger children who were learning from him. His humility and courage inspired others and gained the respect of people in the community. As the days went by, the boy's life began to change, slowly, yet steadily. He earned the trust of the man and the people around him by showing honesty, courage, and kindness in every action. He remained humble and focused on helping his family and others who needed support. The man watched these changes and felt inspired to continue providing guidance and opportunities that would allow the boy to thrive without losing his dignity. Boy faced moments of difficulty and uncertainty, yet he never wavered. He handled each problem with patience and thoughtfulness. He helped children carry heavy loads, guided lost individuals back to safety, and managed his own tasks with care. His quiet courage and consistent kindness left a deep impression on the man and everyone who observed him. The boy's character had grown stronger through each challenge and each small success. One day the man decided to reveal something important to the boy. He explained the significance of the opportunities he had provided and expressed his trust in the boy's abilities. The boy listened quietly and nodded with understanding. He felt honored by the man's confidence and promised to continue. Working with integrity and dedication, the man felt a sense of fulfillment, knowing that he had found someone worthy of trust and guidance. The boy's family noticed the changes as well. They saw him managing his tasks responsibly, helping others, and earning more steadily than before. They felt proud of his determination and patience. He shared what he learned and offered support to his siblings and parents. He remained humble and thoughtful about how he could contribute to their well-being without expecting recognition or praise. As weeks turned into months, the boy continued to grow. He learned new skills, managed his small corner on the streets, and handled larger responsibilities with care. He helped those in need and guided younger children. Patiently, he stayed humble and kind, despite gaining recognition and respect from the community and the man who had given him opportunities. The boy's life was gradually transforming because of his courage, patience, and honesty, the man reflected. On the journey of the boy, he understood that true growth came from small acts of courage and consistent honesty. He realized that supporting someone with care and respect could change a life. Profoundly, the boy had shown him lessons about humility, patience, and kindness that money or power could never teach. The man felt grateful to have witnessed the boy's journey and to be a part of it in a meaningful way. One evening, the boy finished his day on the streets and walked home carrying the small earnings and items he had managed. He felt satisfied with his efforts and proud of what he had achieved. He shared the day with his family quietly, helping them with small tasks and listening to their concerns. He did not speak of the man or the opportunities directly, yet he carried quiet confidence that had grown within him through patience and courage. The man watched from a distance, feeling inspired by the boy's resilience and dedication. He realized that the small act of helping someone had grown into a journey that affected both their lives profoundly. The boy had earned the trust and respect of everyone around him, not by demanding it, but by showing honesty and courage in every small action he had transformed his life through humility and hard work, and inspired the man to see the world differently. The boy continued to face new challenges calmly. He learned to manage larger responsibilities, while remaining focused on helping his family and those in need. His actions reflected wisdom and courage beyond his years. The man observed quietly, feeling pride and hope. The boy had become an example of how determination and honesty could change a life and positively impact others around him. One morning, the man approached the boy and asked about his dreams for the future. The boy spoke softly of wanting to help his family continue their work and to learn more about the world. He spoke of small goals and simple desires, yet the man could see the potential within him for even greater accomplishments. The boy's words reflected humility and ambition combined in a way that was rare and inspiring. Man decided to continue supporting the boy with guidance and opportunities that would allow him to grow without losing his humility. The boy accepted each chance with patience and determination. He remained focused on helping his family and contributing to the community quietly and effectively. His character had strengthened through every experience and every challenges. The city moved around them. The boy continued to navigate his world with quiet courage and determination. He handled challenges calmly, helped others patiently, and stayed humble. Despite the recognition and opportunities he had received, the man felt a deep sense of pride and inspiration. He realized that the boy had transformed his own life as much as he had transformed the boy's. The boy's journey showed that small acts of courage, honesty, and patience could lead to meaningful change. His life had grown richer, not just in material ways, but in character and wisdom. He continued to work hard, help his family, and guide others. With kindness and humility, the man watched, feeling fulfilled, knowing that he had supported someone who truly deserved every opportunity and had grown into a remarkable person. The boy's story became an example to others in the community. His honesty and courage inspired people to act kindly and patiently in their own lives. He remained humble and thoughtful, focusing on helping others and contributing positively. He had learned that real success came from character, determination, and care for those around him. The man continued to guide him quietly, providing support and opportunities while respecting the boy's dignity and independence. Though city continued its busy rhythm, yet the boy remained steady in his journey. He faced each day with patience, courage, and honesty, helping those in need and managing his responsibilities. Carefully, his life had transformed through determination and opportunity, and he had grown into a person of quiet strength and wisdom, the man observed proudly, knowing that the boy had become a symbol of courage, humility, and hope in a world that often overlooked simple acts of goodness. Morning. Light fell softly over the busy streets of the city. People were walking quickly, carrying bags and talking. As the day began, the boy stood at his small corner, arranging his items carefully. He noticed the familiar figure of the man approaching from a distance and gave a small nod. The man returned the gesture.
Ah!
And watched the boy quietly. They had grown used to each other's presence, and the silent understanding that had developed over time made each meeting feel calm and natural. The boy had been working steadily on his responsibilities and projects given by the man. He handled each task with patience and care. He helped others quietly and remained humble even as his skills and confidence grew. His small acts of honesty, courage, and kindness continued to leave a deep impression on the man. The boy had begun to realize that his efforts could make a real difference in his own life and in the lives of those around him. One day, the man approached the boy with a question. He asked how he felt about learning new skills and taking on slightly larger challenges. The boy listened carefully and nodded. Politely, he felt ready for more responsibility and wanted to help his family in meaningful ways. The man explained the tasks simply and assured the boy that he could ask questions whenever he needed support. The boy accepted with determination and began preparing to face the new challenges. As the boy took on the new responsibilities, he faced small difficulties, yet he handled them calmly and thoughtfully. He learned to manage time more carefully and to make decisions quickly while still staying honest and patient. He guided younger children who were learning from him and helped neighbors in small ways. His humility and courage inspired everyone who observed him, including the man who had been quietly supporting him. The boy noticed that his skills were improving. He could handle more complex tasks and organize his work more efficiently, continued to sell his small items on the street and help passers-by without asking for anything in return. His life was slowly changing for the better through consistent effort and determination. The man observed all of this with admiration, realizing that patience and guidance could unlock potential that was hidden before. One afternoon, the boy saw a small child struggling to carry a bundle of goods. He stepped forward and helped the child, carefully carrying the items to their destination. The man watched quietly from a distance, feeling pride and respect for the boy's natural sense of responsibility and kindness. He realized that true strength was shown through consistent small actions and a caring attitude rather than power or wealth. The boy's family noticed the changes as well. They saw him handling responsibilities calmly, helping others, and learning new skills. He shared his knowledge with his siblings and parents and continued to offer quiet support for his family without expecting recognition. His humility and patience inspired those around him and made his small corner of the city feel brighter and safer. As the days passed, the man introduced more learning opportunities to the boy. He asked him to help organize a small community project that could assist other children and families in need. The boy accepted with quiet determination. He coordinated carefully and showed creativity in solving small problems while guiding younger children patiently. The man watched with admiration, realizing that the boy was becoming a leader without losing his humility or honesty. One day, a sudden storm hit the city. The streets became slippery and crowded. People hurried for shelter while the boy secured his items and helped others stay safe. He guided a small group of children to a safer place and ensured that their bundles were not damaged. The man rushed over to offer assistance, but the boy handled everything with calm efficiency. He thanked the man quietly and continued helping others. Showing courage and responsibility beyond his years, the community began to notice the boy's efforts. He quietly helped those in need, guided younger children, and managed his responsibilities with care. His humility and consistent kindness inspired respect and admiration. The man realized that the boy had become a role model, not by asking for attention, but by showing honesty and courage in every small act. The boy's actions were slowly creating a positive change in the lives of many around him. The boy faced new challenges as the projects became slightly larger and more complicated. he handled each situation. Calmly thinking through the best way to solve problems, he helped younger children and neighbors and managed his own responsibilities with care. The man observed closely, feeling proud and inspired by the boy's determination and integrity. He realized that patience and guidance were as powerful as any wealth or influence. One afternoon, the boy encountered a small dog trapped near a busy street. He carefully rescued the animal and guided it to safety. The man watched quietly, feeling admiration for the boy's empathy and courage. He realized that true strength was shown through caring for others and acting responsibly, even in small moments. The boy's consistent kindness and honesty continued to teach the man valuable lessons about humility. Encouraged, the boy's growth continued steadily. He balanced learning new skills, helping others, and managing his small corner on the street. He remained humble and patient even as recognition reached him from the community and from the man he understood. That true success came from character, determination, and care for others rather than attention or praise. The man felt a sense of pride and hope, seeing the boy navigate life with honesty and courage. One morning, the man asked the boy about his dreams. For the future, the boy spoke simply about wanting to help his family and continue learning new skills. He also expressed a quiet desire to assist other children in the community. He spoke humbly without demanding recognition, yet his words revealed ambition and determination combined with wisdom beyond his years. The man realized that the boy had grown into a remarkable person through small acts of courage and consistent effort. The man continued providing guidance and support to the boy. He introduced opportunities that allowed him to grow while respecting his dignity and independence. The boy accepted each chance with patience and focus. He remained determined to help his family and contribute positively to the community. His growth was visible not just in skills but in confidence, character, and wisdom. He had become an inspiration to everyone around him. Boy continued, facing each day with patience and determination. He handled challenges calmly, helped others quietly, and remained humble despite recognition and new opportunities. His life had transformed gradually through honesty, courage, and consistent effort. The man observed proudly, realizing that he had helped nurture a life that could now thrive independently and make a lasting impact in the world. One evening, the boy finished his tasks and walked home with his family. He shared the day's experiences, quietly offering support and guidance. He did not speak of the opportunities or recognition directly, yet carried a quiet confidence that had grown within him. The man watched from afar, feeling inspired and fulfilled, knowing that the boy had learned to navigate life with honesty, courage, and humility. The boy's story had begun with a simple request for $1, yet through patience, effort, guidance, and integrity, his life had been transformed. He had grown into a person capable of handling challenges, helping others, and contributing positively to his community. His courage, humility, and determination had created a lasting impression, not only on the man who had guided him, but on everyone who witnessed his actions. The city continued its busy rhythm, yet the boy remained steady and strong in his journey.